Hi everyone, welcome to your latest planning outlook that's updated on Tuesday the 7th of July. Now those opening graphics pretty much sum up the next few days. Mixed conditions in place across the British Isles. We'll see some dry and some sunny weather at times, but also the risk of some slow moving and locally thundery downpours breaking out. Typically on the cool side throughout, but pressure just tending to build as we head onwards into the weekend. Not quite convinced we're set fair all the way through though. It's a real muddle of weather systems coming in from the Atlantic at the moment. Most of the fronts continuing to trail across England and Wales as we head onwards through the middle of this week, with slack pressure further north than that. It's neither really high nor low, it's just not really going anywhere, and it's the sort of environment at this time of year that just has enough going on to produce some showers breaking out. Various frontal rainfall systems though will come through even through Wednesday evening into Thursday as we just skip the sequence on here. And eventually that front is then likely to pull through and we clear the air a little bit into a northwesterly type of regime onwards into Friday. Still some showers though to break out. The wind will be a bit stronger by that point as well. And then just the likelihood of pressure beginning to build a bit further from the southwest as we go into the weekend for quieter conditions for many, but still the risk of some fronts coming into western Scotland with low pressure still not too far away over the North Atlantic. Let's try and put some detail on things then for the next few days, and Wednesday first of all sees that tangle of fronts across the southern half of Britain. We've got the leftovers of previous rain and drizzle still just around early in the day across Wales and the Peak District, that tending to fizzle out, becoming a drier and brighter picture with cloud breaking up for a time at least, but the next set of fronts will move in from the west and it's likely that rain will set in again across Wales and later extending to the South Pennines and the Peak District as well. Might be by the evening though by the time that fully gets back in. Further north than that, it'll be a story of just slow-moving showers breaking out. Now, the odd one might be around early in the day, but most widely from about late morning onwards into the afternoon, a few pop-up showers, typically inland hills, particularly across Scotland, so western coastal summits generally avoiding these. But where they form with light winds, they'll move around very slowly, so it's one of those days where you'll either get them or you won't, and the difference between a few miles either way will be that difference in getting those showers. The odd one, heavy with a rumble of thunder mixed in for good measure. Generally light winds overall then across most of Britain, temperatures though rather on the cool side. Into Thursday, and we have another complicated mess of fronts moving across England and Wales. It might be that they're a little bit further south than this chart would even suggest, and the worst of any rain barely gets further north than mid-Wales, but just the risk of some rain or drizzle as far north as the Pennines. It's likely, though, that the story once again is of those slow-moving showers popping up most extensively across the Scottish Highlands, where they'll break out through the middle of the day into the afternoon. Again, moving around very slowly, almost stationary with not too much wind at all. So, likewise to Wednesday, you'll either get them or you won't, but if you do get them, there's that risk of a heavy downpour and some thunder and lightning mixed in. Now by Friday things are a bit more on the move as we see low pressure systems clearing away eastwards and a fresher northwesterly breeze developing across most places. There'll be a scattering of showers then, initially across coastal hills in northern Scotland, maybe around the northern Cairngorms as well, and a few bands just running in from the Irish Sea into the western Pennines and into North Wales too. Then by the afternoon they're more likely to be inland across the Highlands, central eastern parts of the Highlands, towards the eastern side of the southern uplands and down the spine of the Pennines. One or two still may be left in the Lake District as well. Again, you could catch a heavy burst, but they'll tend to move through a little bit more on Friday, but still just with that risk of an isolated rumble of thunder. Away from the showers, some sunshine, some cloud breaks, best of those sunny spells generally around the coast in the west in the afternoon. Now higher pressure is building onwards into the weekend, so things becoming drier and quieter overall with just one or two local showers left around, and these generally only light as things become more stable within the atmosphere as pressure begins to build. It might just be that some western hills in Scotland with the airflow off the Atlantic just hold on to some more in the way of cloud, and one or two patches of rain just possible drifting in at times. But overall, it's looking a dry day for the majority. Still on the cool side though, and overnight we've had clear skies into Saturday morning. We may well start with a touch of ground frost in one or two sheltered glens and valleys, so just be aware of that one. And temperatures on the hills during the daytime still distinctly on the cool side. High pressure is likely to hang on across the central and southern parts of the British Isles into Sunday, but it's always the problem of a few fronts coming off the Atlantic, which may just make things rather poorer across the western side of Scotland, with a greater risk of low cloud and some rain and some drizzle coming in at times. Patchy rain may extend further eastwards, very little of it may be toward the eastern side of the Highlands though, and overall looking a dry picture across England and Wales. It might just be we fill in with a few banks of cloud though, just around some Irish Sea coastal hills. Just to finish with a brief look into next week, and it looks as though we still have some fronts that are just trying to move across the west and the north of Britain early in the week. Higher pressure not entirely built all the way across us. One or two forecast models do go a bit more optimistic as we go into next week, and higher pressure building in further. On balance, it looks as though it's relatively quieter weather, but always just got to watch for a few things still toppling around off the Atlantic for a day or so. I suspect we get into a better spell of weather overall next week. Whether that high completely builds, though, to give us extensively dry weather for a few days, I think we'll just have to wait and see how things pan out at this stage. So we'll keep an eye on things, and of course you can stay up to date with all your local forecasts every day on our website, and the next full planning video online for you on Friday. Thanks for watching, bye for now.